homies? What is going on? Welcome to another stream. But it's like, it's a special stream. You know why? You know why?
Yo.
Yo, bro, what's going on? Hollow, thank you so much. Dude, 4-month streak? Let's go. Well, hold on. I think there's like, there might be someone that jumps in below me. Josh. My guy.
What up?
How's it going down there, dude?
It's good, man. It's cold. I'm trying to stay warm in this basement because it's starting to snow now in Canada.
Oh, dude, here
I
too.
can't
Here
wait
too.
to be in the tropicals in a week.
So if you guys don't know, this is Josh. He's the guy who sang on, I guess, the first official release. I mean, even for me, kind of like showcasing the metal side of my life. And if you don't know Josh, he's the singer in a band called Auras. I know a lot of you have heard about him because I don't stop talking about him because he's the guy. He's the guy.
Just a guy.
He is the guy, though. Like,
I'm just a guy.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a guy.
And so I thought it would be cool for us to just go through the stems of the song. But first, I wanted to show you how it all like started out. Because believe it or not, I started this song on stream actually, the name of the song, well, like the working title is June 29th, 2024. And so that's when the song was like conceived of.
Dang.
And some of you might actually know, like, I mean, some of you might have been there. Like, seriously. And if you were, let me know, because that's sick. And so what I figured I would do is I would just show you where it started. Just kind of show you a few things. And, I mean, just kind of go from there. But I want to pull up the stems so you guys can kind of just hear all the different things. And I kind of wanted to talk about a few things in terms of, like, balancing. Because I'm realizing that is a big thing with a lot of the homies. A lot of my one-on-ones, you know, they'll be like, you know, what's going on with my mix? What do you think? And I'll take a listen. I'm like, dude, I think you just got to turn some things down. And I'm sure that, you know, Josh, when you get mixed stuff coming back from you, it's just like, okay, we need to start turning things down. Like the importance of sometimes just turning things down. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And so, you know, I think that's a big thing because, believe it or not, I stemmed this out, Josh, and I had to still balance it in because there was so much, like, I don't know, I was really pushing the songs in terms of like loudness, bro. And so I brought it into the session and it was clipping.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It was like really, I was like, man, I thought it was going to be good. And so I was like, okay, well, you know, it's okay though. But let me just kind of show you a few things. The first thing is this ambience thing. And hopefully this, please, Ableton project, be nice. Okay. I have a lot going on right now. So we'll see what happens. Don't blow up computer. Thank you. Love you. Okay, so the first thing is this ambience. Actually, let me just show you the track. I'm just going to show you where it was at before I was like, Josh, check this out, dude. Viper, Renzo, what's going on, dude? Corny. Alice, what's going on? Casey, whoa. Inano, what's going on, dude? Oh, that's where it left off.
Dude,
Was
I
like,
remember when you sent this to me, man. I was so hyped when I heard this, and I was like, and like I was like, dude, we need to work on this song first. I was like, we need to work on this
Well, we had a
because
song that was already kind of like done, but and then I showed you this song, and I remember you were just like, I think it needs to be this song, and I was like, I feel like this is a good introduction to like what we're trying to do, you know?
this is true. This is true. The other song is different, and that was our first take at this. But I think we had a better understanding of what direction to go with once we kind of got our feet wet. So yeah, this is a
Yes.
good call.
Renzo asked, y'all use GitHub to collab or something else? So, believe it or not, bro, like we chat on Discord, and I send him the song. He sings on it really quickly, and he sends it back, and then we get on another Discord call and kind of just like discussed a few things. And I think it wasn't until like we finally decided, okay, we need to put this thing out, that we had like a Discord call. And it was actually a pretty long Discord call because we were going through it with like a fine tooth comb with like, what else can we add? What else can we change? What sort of effects can we do? Like to just kind of, I don't know if you would agree with me, like portray this little like techno thing that we were trying to do, like techno trance thing, right?
Yeah, I think the first thing that came to mind when I first laid vocals down is like we need to solidify the arrangement just so we have some sort of blueprint to follow because we only I think when I sent it to you like it wasn't even like
Anubis.
done. I don't even think it was
It
done.
wasn't. It wasn't. And I think that that was like, well, no, we didn't even have like a really an arrangement because I think what I did was I added like a little bit more to it so you could kind of like get an idea. And my biggest thing with this song was like didn't want it to get too crazy with like notes or whatever. Like I really wanted it to feel like an electronic dance song. Because as you know too, it's like when you hear these songs, they're just a vibe. It's not too crazy. And that's really what I was trying to do. And it sounded like when I showed you this, you knew right away because what you put on vocal wise, I was like, yes, of course. Dude, Anubis is
Dude,
going crazy
dude, he
right
is
now.
going in, bro. He's going in, bro.
Dude, the 20 gifted? Bruh, bruh. Thank you, dude. Anubis, always so giving, man. If you got a sub, make sure you thank him, man. But yeah, this is where it started. And again, you can see there's not a ton going on. I mean, this ambience was actually made using BA1 and crystalline. The cool thing about crystalline is there's like a little freeze thing that you can do, and it literally just freezes it like this. Dude, did Anubis just go off again? He just went off again. Another 10, bro. Anubis, you're the best. Thank you for being here, dude. And then we have this guy. Very important sound, I think. But then we like changed it a little bit. And this preset, I'll just show you the preset. Halo How do you say that? How do you say that? I don't even know how to say it.
Allah.
Okay, I like that better. And so I just found this. I'm pretty sure that I tweaked it. And then crystalline. This is actually when I got like all these plugins from Baby Audio, and I was like, let's just try something. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, the drums didn't change much. Drums were pretty much the same, and I'll show you with the stems. I have the bass here. We're using Nolly bass. We have a little bit of sub bass going on thanks to Operator. Rhythm guitars, which are AXURE. So I actually have AXURE going into Gojira, but Gojira is going into Contender's cabs. And so the Contender Series round 1. And then there's this sound, which I don't even know what this is. What is this? Come on. You better load. There it is. Oh, modular icons. Of course.
That's
Very
nice.
good. This comes with complete. It's so good. And then, of course, there's me. Devil smile from the inside. So, what's funny is like when I first had the idea for these vocals, it was super late at night. It was in June, so it was hot AF. My AC was running, and I was like, because I didn't want the like, I didn't want it to be like too loud, you know, like I live with other people, so I didn't want to be too loud, blah blah blah. It was, I think it was like midnight or something, but I didn't want to like lose the idea. And so it sucked. And so the next day, you know, I mean, I listened to it. I was like, this is cool. The idea's there. Next day, I literally got it and I sang it like this, like with my standing desk. And it was like, I sang it a little bit louder. And what's funny is it's this. And this is actually what made it to the final version of this song because I felt like it was good enough. But I think I think that's a good thing to think about, especially when you're writing like your vocals, but then you have like scratch vocals. Sometimes they're not just scratch, right, Josh?
Yeah. No, it depends on like the song, but all my vocals are scratch vocals. Like with anything I send you, super scratch. Like I'm literally putting myself in front of the music and just spewing out whatever feels good and sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
until it's like that final tracking point, it's like, okay, like we just need to like select the lyrics and select the vocal nuances and stuff like that. But like most of the vocal takes in the writing process, you're just kind of jamming it out and just not even thinking about it. At least that's like for me, you know?
Well, what I think was cool was like how, and we can get into the meaning a little bit later, like once we get into the stems, but I think it's cool that like, I don't really think that we talked about the meaning of the song, but you kind of like already got it. You know what I mean? But in a different way. It was like your own way. And so like I'm curious to the homies in chat too. Like what do you guys one think it means, but also what does it mean to you? You know what I mean? Like I think that's the most important thing because I'm noticing like as an artist and someone who releases songs, like the song is yours up until you release it and then it's not yours anymore. It's everyone else's, you know, because they have their own, they build their own sentimental vibe around it. And sometimes it could be sort of a, like I remember Saturday Night Wrist from Deftones. Whenever I hear that song or that album, it brings me back to that time and like what was going on in that time. And so that is what I think is so crazy about putting out music is like that could happen to your song or like to someone in your song. That blows my mind. Like even with auras, Josh, like when I listen to Solar Pulse, it brings me back to that time. And it's nuts, dude. But again, I mean, it kind of just goes to show how influenced I am from auras that like my music sounds the way it does. And if you haven't heard auras, you need to go check out auras, man, because you'll be like, oh yeah, Chris Badan's just trying to copy this band.
No, no, not at all, dude. And you know what they say is it like this song is auras adjacent, is what they said.
Oh,
Yeah, auras adjacent. Like it's not full auras, like it's not pushing as many boundaries that are available like auras does.
mm-hmm.
Um it's more focused on the atmosphere and aesthetic versus like the rhythmic manipulation, which is like the theme of auras, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
I agree with you. I think that I try to get the best of both worlds because I know that with even with auras, like you still try to like build that world. And so I think it was cool to be able to like, I don't know, build the foundation of that world and then have you come in and just kind of like shape it to kind of like fit yourself into this world too. I don't know, man. Every time I hear this song, it's like I'm somewhere else. And I don't know if you guys in chat feel the same way, but it's like, dude, it's so sick. But I think what I wanted to do was show you really quickly because I know a lot of people have questions about what I'm doing on my vocals. And since I have them here, I can just quickly show you. Let me see if I can show you what it sounds like without really anything on it. So I do have auto tune on it because I'm actually fairly new to singing on music. And it doesn't sound horrible, but it really is just tightening me up. Devil smile from the inside. So that's with absolutely nothing. And then I have auto tune. And then I have this EQ here, which is just, I mean, I use this mic that you're seeing here. I don't have anything crazy, any special microphone. Like this is $100 like Audio Technica AT2020. And so it's like, that's all you really need. And then I have this EQ on there. Devil smile from the inside. And then I slammed it with an LA2A. And you're going to be able to see like how much gain reduction I have here. Let me see if I could do this as well. Devil smile from the inside. I'm doing -20 gain reduction, dude. But I think that that's so necessary to keep it like it right where you want it. You know what I mean? Corny, I did get it when it was free. And actually last night I just purchased Track Spacer and I got the tape, the UAD tape thing. I don't remember what it was called, but I was pretty pumped about that. But the next thing that I have is a de-esser. Devil smile from the inside. So you can see it's working hard because this microphone's actually pretty bright. And so that's why I was like, okay. Now I have this like virtual, I'm sorry, not a virtual, it's an audio effect rack. And so like down here, you can see, I basically have it split out into two different things here. So I have vocals, and so this is unaffected vocals, and then I have humanoid. And I just have humanoid on here. And so you can see it, let me turn this on. If I solo this, I have an L1 limiter, which this guy is actually, I love this a lot. This is kind of like, I learned this from Greg, my old singer. And I've been kind of just putting it on things because it really just, again, it keeps that vocal there. Devil smile. Let me turn these off first. Devil smile from the inside. You're literally right there. Next thing I have is H delay. This was before I had any other delays. Devil smile from. So I have a high pass and low pass, you know. Quarter note, 130. And then I have crystalline. Devil smile from the inside. What I think is cool is with crystalline, this was an accident. You could see I'm just using the default preset because I was honestly just tweaking it. But it has almost like a gate to where it turns off before the next note. I mean, before the next like grouping. Devil smile from the inside. It like just turns off, which is sick. And again, that was an accident. That was just honestly playing around with the plugin. I didn't really know how to use it, but it just worked. And so that is the first little thing here. And then I have humanoid on the next one. And it's using the Harmony Voco Creation. And I know I definitely tweaked this. And so I'll show you what that sounds like just by itself. Devil smile from the inside. Sounds sick. Oh.
Devil smile. That's so sick.
From the inside. But I blended the two. And so you can see down here, this one's at 0, this one's at -9. And so, devil smile from the inside. But then what I wanted to do was I wanted to blend and glue these together. And so I actually have more processing together. So like this is like after everything, or after these two, they're technically like together now. And now I have processing here. And so I have more things going on. So I'll turn this off so you can hear what this sounds like. Devil smile from the inside. Low end with vocals for me is such a like, I really want to try and just master it, because I feel like if you take it away almost too much, then you're just thin. And then next thing you know, it sounds like one of those thin snares with no body. Like, I hate it. And so, devil smile from the inside. And then I actually am using CLA vocals, dude. I love this. I don't care what anyone says about it either. You could see I'm not doing a ton. Bite, push, and a little bit of width. Devil smile from the inside. Devil smile from the inside. You can hear it, whatever it's doing. I'm loving it. But then I have another de-esser. Devil smile from the inside. Devil smile from... It's doing such a big thing because, like, you have to think, we're getting rid of the initial de-essing with this first one. And then we're processing it, which is bringing out our S's even more. And so I'm adding CLA vocals, which is adding more S's. And so then I have to de-ess again. And so if you're not multi-stage de-essing, you should attempt that because it's good. And you could see that this is probably at the end when I was like, okay, I still, something is annoying me with the S's. So, more dynamic EQ. Devil smile from the inside. And so again, I know a lot of you wanted to hear that and see how I went about doing that. It's nothing too crazy. I think the biggest things to think about are these EQ curves. Because I think if you have good EQ curves, then, you know, everything else should fall into place. Now, I know a lot of people too are like, you know, what's a good EQ curve? What I'm trying to find and or like achieve is like, again, that balance of like not too much low end in this range. And then have, because vocals are very mid heavy. And so that's why I bump this up here, and to watch your S's, like, thankfully I don't have any like doubling or anything, because I consider what I do on vocals sort of a part of the song. It's like an instrument, an additional instrument to the song. And so I felt like I didn't need doubling or anything. But what was cool is, like, technically Josh was my double. You know, he was doing the doubles and stuff like that to this. And so I'll show you guys the stems with that. But let me load that up. But while I'm loading that, Josh, they could still hear you. They just can't see you. But I think while I'm loading this up, we can kind of talk about how this even like started, bro.
How did it start, man? What, how? I actually can't remember, to be honest.
You know what's funny is like,
Oh, I do now, actually. We have
okay,
like a bunch of other songs that we collaborated on
yeah,
before we even had a name, and we were going for like a more like gothic vibe, remember?
mm-hmm, yes,
And we just like kept doing the same motions of like, you'd send me a song, I would send back vocals, I would send you vocal stems, and then you would just kind of mix it as it was. But during that time, like, I feel like you were still trying to figure out your niche and what you wanted to do.
yeah,
And I'm not sure when the mix between metal and techno kind of came to be, because the earlier stuff was not along those lines.
mm-hmm,
But all I
yeah,
know is when I started to hear it, I was all for it. I was all for it because I love techno, I love trance, I love house music, but I also love metal, and I've always wanted to make a nice mix within a song,
mm-hmm,
which is very hard to accomplish if you don't have the right tools. And for me, I'm not like a plug-in head. I'm more of like a creative writer. and then I let other people who kind of have the brains and the access to develop that aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it's kind of hard because like dude, like the things that you have done with auras, like it's so insane. And again, I honestly I feel like I can say this with confidence. Like I feel like if I didn't, well, one, if I never discovered auras, we wouldn't be talking right now. But if I haven't like discovered like your world of writing, then I don't think that it would have really become this because again, you're such a huge influence in my writing. Chim Spanner is such a big influence in my writing. Of course, Tesseract and all those other bands, but it's just like Auras has always been on my like top shelf of like I want to write music like that, like one day. But I could never do it because I felt like I could like my skills were limited, because I didn't practice guitar a ton and blah blah blah, and I could just never really get there. And so as soon as I discovered, and it's actually Josh that helped me discover MIDI guitar because he was like, dude, this is how I've been writing. And I'm like, tell me more, bro. Tell me more. And then we had, dude, I mean, you were right when we were talking last. You were like, dude, that songwriting session that we had, like that first one, where you're like, I'm just going to show you how I do it. And my mind was blown because a lot of the things I already did, but I was super like in my own head about it. Like, is this even cool? Blah, blah, blah. And when you showed me, it was like a huge, like the brightest light bulb went off, dude. And then I started just writing as often. You know what's funny is I have a folder that says Josh's way of writing or something like that. And there's a whole bunch of different sessions because I was trying to practice like what I've watched you do. And it was like, oh, duh, duh. And
Yeah.
so,
I
just kept
remember
writing.
I remember that session very, very clearly because I think you were just supposed to be a fly on the wall, and I was like, I'm just gonna do this, and I called it Chris Bedpan. That was the name of the project. I was just like,
Yeah,
here,
dude.
this I'm not even gonna the thing was I purposely was like, I'm not even gonna think about this. And I'm just going to, you know, try
Already
to
four and way more to come.
Oh,
Crisp 92E.
Seb, thank you for the sub, bro. What's up,
let's
homie?
go. I just wanted to do it as fast as possible and show you that by not overthinking it allows you to get it done faster. Because I
Yes.
think that was the wall that you kept hitting. And when you were sending me projects, I was like, you got like a good first quarter of it, but you haven't finished the rest
Yes.
of it because you're probably mixing as you're going. You're probably trying to dial in all the snare hits and like all of the ghost notes. Where me, I was like, I just started placing random things. I'm like, as long as it sounds like it's supposed to be a ghost note, I could fix it later. As long as that's supposed to be somewhat of the groove I'm going for, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna make it perfect until it's absolutely necessary. And I think that is where you were like, it's interesting that you just kind of kept going. You didn't even like, I'm like, yeah, because you're trying to paint a picture, but like you want to get the whole picture first before you start getting the details and the small little nuances. So I think when you saw me do that, which I've been doing for like 15 years, you're like, "Oh, I see." And then I swear like a week later you were locked in, dude. You were locked in and I'd literally seen your channel and your music grow since then, which is like crazy and it's amazing.
What's funny now is I preach that like crazy, like not overthinking things and just kind of that's why, honestly, I selfishly started my Make Songs Fast like video series on YouTube because like I just wanted to practice more that concept. Like not overthinking, man. Just like doing the thing. If you're repeating parts, who cares right now? Like you're just trying to get a structure because structure is everything, it really is. And so as soon as I started to do that and just I mean, again, selfishly do these videos, but I knew it was going to help other people, because a lot of times people come into chat and they're like, dude, I don't know how you write so fast. But you of all people know, it wasn't always like that, bro. It wasn't always like that. You wouldn't see a song, like a finished, quote unquote, finished song for me for a while, because it was only just little chunks, because I didn't know where to go next. It's always a thing, right? Like, but I think if you do it with one, like, in one little sit down session, you get a rough little structure going, even if it's not final structure. It's like you're finishing writing the paragraph that you should have finished writing. You know what I mean? And so, you know, that's how it goes. Also, I'm ignoring the homies, but not on purpose. Captain, and who else do we have? Lucy. Who else is here? I saw Colin in here. Colin, appreciate you, dude. How the heck are we doing, brother? The homies over on YouTube, Jack, Conscious, Sinks, Shinks. I don't know how to say it, bro. I'm sorry. But he says, from Argentina, bro. That's crazy. How the heck are we doing? I'm curious about something, a fairly deep philosophical question. When you say, devil smile from the inside, is that a solitary devil or some sort of army of devils? Ooh, Conscious, if you're still here, dude, I want to know what you think it is. You know, I'm very curious. And we can get into that, again, we can get into that a little bit later. But let me show you guys the stems really fast. Because then we can start to go into kind of like what Josh did. And you could see there's a lot. He did a lot.
Yes.
And so, like, here's the thing too, is like, you can see the song is pretty basic, man. From what you've seen on the first session till now, I mean, look, this is really all it is. We have synths, drums, bass, guitar, clean guitar, some E-drum stuff, and then some effects, and then some more effects, and that's really it. The rest is singing. And so, let me just show you this really fast. Here's the synths, right? We added the kind of like sidechain sound, right? Like a trance song.
I can't hear it.
Let me give you a listen to. Let me get you a listen
to.
It's like everyone can hear it but you, dude.
Yeah, I don't need to hear it. I've heard it enough.
Okay. Let me get you this really quick.
Like you said.
I'm gonna send it to you here in here. There you go, brother.
Yoink.
Okay, I see you in there.
I'm here. I'm in.
Let me know if you can hear it. Cool. So I just have it soloed. I just wanted you to hear this. So you can hear I just brought it an octave up to give it that more, like that excitement. And then we have the drums, which again didn't change too much. And we have bass. Didn't change much. This is where it changed a little bit. And so, believe it or not, those rhythm kind of ideas and changes were Josh's idea. You know, he was like, we got to do more things in here. We got to do more. And I was like, I agree. Let's do those things, bro. And so I think another kind of like iconic part is these clean guitars. Although you can't hear them like a ton, I really feel like if they weren't there, then it wouldn't kind of put you in that world. Like I would say a mixture of this and this. But then we have these effects here. Right? The trance life.
The impacts, dude.
The impacts. They're so, man, they're so important. Even here. Then it goes into this part. But then this is also in there. That's such a huge part. Another thing to think about too is like, without this, it really kind of loses that little bit of groove in there. What about this?
That part was so sick when we came up with that, man.
Do you remember how long our discussion was with like, should we keep it going the whole time? Should we do this? And we're just like,
Dude,
oh,
that
well,
entire
playback.
transition took us like 2 hours to like build on. Like, I was like, it needs more movement. It needs more theatrical effect.
Yes.
And it needs to constantly change to show that it's transitioning to the next part.
Yeah, well, you can
break.
even see it in the waveform here, like right here. You could see that it changed. This was our whole this was a discussion right here.
Yeah, it was.
And so you can hear like this was the build up, and then I forget what sort of automation I did. You know what else it was, dude? It was the snare.
That's it.
Right here.
We didn't have it before.
We didn't
And I was
have it
like, we need
before.
a snare here. We needed this, like something to like, because when we didn't have that, it kind of lost energy.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to have something kind of keep it moving to lead to the next part.
Well, what's funny too is like we have it here. And I remember I added that later as well, that snare. Because this like main groove was like a massive patch. And then it goes away and then this comes in. But then we have our effects here. More effects. My favorite thing here. That's all. That's all you need.
Oh,
Okay.
and do you know what else kind of added to this part was the pumping. I kept saying we have to keep
Yes.
pumping, going in and out, like side chaining, because before it was just open sound and there wasn't any movement. So if we kept ducking the sound rhythmically, it kept that part in motion.
Well, it really like I think it was the final icing on like that trance little vibe we were trying to get. It's like seriously. I think was it this part? Yeah, there it is. And I think that was just I used Shaper Box for that. Just
Yeah,
to
you
keep
use
it
Shaper
going.
Box. Mhm.
And it
Yeah.
happens in the beginning as well. And I don't even remember if I automated it off, so it might have went the whole song. Let's see. Yeah, it's still doing it. It does it the whole song. But again, like, even just hearing that, you can feel it. I know a lot of you guys in chat are doing this when that's going on. I think it's that pumping. It really is
It's
like...
the pumping, dude. When there's no drums, like you could, even though there's no drums in that part, or in like what you're hearing, you still feel the pulse, and it
Yep.
still makes you want to like move.
Okay, so that's majority, again, very simple. Very simple. Now these synths, there's quite a few synths going on here, and they're all grouped, but not a ton of synths. I think there's like three things. And then this is This is basically going throughout the whole song. You could see. Again, I think it's really adding to that vibe. But yeah, that's really it. I will show you.
Desire within a maze, a sweet escape kills me softly. I feel your love.
And then here's me.
Favorite drug. My favorite drug. I feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
Okay, so I think that we need to kind of showcase. There's a lot going on here. Like, even this first little thing, like, I think without this sound in the beginning.
Big shout out to Ian though. This is
Dude,
Ian's
yes.
doing.
Dude, I wish he was here in chat. That right there, yes. Oh. Bro, I remember when you sent me that. I was like, what is this? What is this?
What we did is we dimmed the lights in the studio.
Okay.
And basically just go. Just like he had the, I think it was like the synths or something on like repeat. He's like, just vibe. So I'm just like in the booth. I'm just like, ooh. And he's like, yo, keep doing more of that. And then I just kept going, woo, and just kind of kept doing it. And he's like, all right, done. He's like, that's all I need. And I was like, cool. He took that stuff and then added all these different layers and manipulated it to make it sound more, I guess, like EDM-ish R&B vibe. And yeah, and then it just became that. Honestly, it was so cool.
Well, like there's multiples. Like this is the whole effects thing here, and so like what he did, like it's so cool. Like even like I think this is the same. And then there's this. Such an important part of the song, dude. I think, again, to that vibe, it really, like... Oh. That's one of my favorite parts, for sure.
Yeah.
But, again, I think this part here is just nuts, man.
Why do we face with no escape? Always combining our fate. When we're asleep, feel nothing but rage.
But you can see here, there's things going on like the sides.
Always biding our fate.
So you can also hear, keep note, I removed some of the syllables, like the S's and the P's and stuff like that, because I'm not trying to double up on that stuff. I only care about that with these vocals.
With no escape, always combining our fate.
And the thing to think about too is like they're pretty drastic cuts. However, since it's just an effect and our S's are coming from our main source, it doesn't really, like, you can't hear it. Let me do this.
Always combining our fate. When we're asleep, feel nothing but rage. Resurrection.
I think it's this one as well. Like this one, dude. When I got this from you, I was so pumped, bro. So you can hear too, I got rid of the J on Rage.
Yeah, the J.
And then there's this one. There was something that I did that was like pretty... Those are sick. And I feel like it really... It adds so much, dude.
It does.
To that
it just
part.
makes it a little bit more chaotic, you know, like a little bit more Dimensional, if you will.
Yes. Dobsky
Desire,
asked
I
only.
like some cheese. That's exactly what I said.
Where does that? Where was that?
Desire within a maze kills me softly.
Dubsy asked only in Ableton. Well, for me, yes. I don't know what does Ian use? Studio One, right?
For tracking vocals, he does Studio One, and then for his production, he took those and then threw it into Ableton to manipulate.
Ableton's life. But yeah, so I did a lot. I mean, I did all of my mixing and mastering inside of Ableton, and so that's why like all these stems and stuff are here. But we also have. Let's do this so you can hear where it goes next.
Kills me softly. I feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
And then there's this one here, this layer.
Feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
And then the main stack.
I feel your love.
But all of those, mine is going as well. So we'll play all of these together here.
I feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
But then we have this guy.
My favorite drug. I feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
I love that part. The whole point of having a high, octave and a lower octave to make it seem like there were more than one person singing it along, just to give that like catchiness factor to it.
Yes.
And then of course with the harsh, like the pitch screaming as well. And then with yours, like all combined, it turned out super sick.
Well, I guess I can say now that I know that there's some people, some of the homies that want to sort of like remake this song like in like their genre. Like I know Simi wants these vocals. He's constantly reminding me, yo, give me these vocals, give me these vocals. I actually have someone else that I think they do like dubstep and stuff, and I think that would be cool to like. And so you may see some more songs that like are coming out with these vocals, but also I believe I'm going to throw these onto the Patreon, and so you guys can just kind of like check them out and explore them, because again, that's what this whole thing is about. It's not about gatekeeping what we did, how we did. Like, I think that that's why, Dan was so on board with what's going on in the community as well, because he's all about that as well. Same thing with Paul. Like, all of us are just trying to keep that sort of train going. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, it was very gate kept. Like, you have to come to me if you want that sound. But it's just like, well, we're in a day and age to where we all have the same plugins. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, that's what it is. Like, no, I think it's like Zach Cervini, Joey Sturgis. He told me it was from his own mouth. He doesn't use any outboard gear. And so it's like, we all have the same stuff, but it just comes down to how are you using those things? And again, I wish that I could show you the full session, but even without you guys here, this thing is like crackly. So
Yeah, it's having a tantrum.
yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit of processing, because there was a lot of learning that I did with this, especially with like Josh's vocals and having so many different things going on vocally and trying to blend those in the best way that I could, Famous, I see you, bro. Yes. I love what you do, man. And so, yes, please. He's been doing dubstep, but he's getting into the metal realm as well. And his stuff is so sick. He was showing it in the community jams. I think it was the last one. Dude, so good. And so, Famous, yes, you're definitely on the list, bro. Again, it would be cool to have a few people do this, so then we could be like, check out the remixes of these songs. Because again, this is, I think, as close as I can get to making this a trance song with metal in it. You know what I mean? But if someone can like take these and actually do like electronic stuff, ooh, especially with like, again, things like this. It's so, I was so pumped, man. I'm still pumped whenever I hear those things, like even in the background. But there was some, oh, I'll show you guys some more things that are going on here. So during this part, there was something that Josh did there. And it's kind of buried. Yeah. ASMR. Like maybe some of you guys didn't know that that was there, but it's just like you felt it in a way, you know? Which is, again, a cool thing. Then that comes back in mono. And then there's this. And then this part.
Watching us fade to black.
I wanted that delay to go on forever, bro, because it was just so like, it was your like version of a freaking blah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
or a quack. He says quack. Seb.
Quack, quack. Yeah, dude.
Watching us fade to black.
So that delay is actually Comeback Kid from Baby Audio. And I liked it because it's so easy to be able to just get a nice stereo delay, not a ping pong delay, just straight stereo. And so that's why. And I automated that.
It sounds
Added a
like
little
quack.
fade.
I can't unhear quack, dude.
Thanks, Seb. Thanks, dude.
I can't unhear it now. Dude.
Look at Garfield. I don't even know what you're spelling right here, dude. He said black. So also you'll hear that it really blends in. Like it sounds like it's a lot here. And then this. I'll show this in a sec. This is kind of like, this is the sickest part. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but like, look at these, the way that these are stacked here. This is so interesting. Like when I first, Josh, when I first got vocals from you, and I think it was even like Aura's demo stuff that you wanted me to mix, and I seen how you tracked these, I was like, this is interesting. Because in terms of like how you are not really like, you don't have to worry about your breaths. You're really just worried about the creative decisions. And so like, I mean, what is your thought process behind doing that? Is that about right?
I mean, I just do what feels good. Like I wanted to come out energetic, but I also wanted another vocal to answer back. Mm-hmm. It's like a back and forth, having a conversation kind of idea with this. So that's why you kind of see it like kind of staggered in that way.
Yeah, let me show you what it sounds like here. I just have those two.
What do we desire? Never do. We will fail to flourish. Feel the corroding size of a dread. That is temporary.
But then you have on this response, I guess you would call it, you have these additional things. So this is the main one.
We will fail to
You can hear how compressed I have those. That's on purpose.
We will fail to flourish.
Hard tune, because I don't care, because you don't really hear it. You feel that.
We will fail to flourish.
And what's funny too is just to be completely transparent, I didn't put a ton of work into those because I knew that they were just going to be in the background adding the vibe. And you can't really like...
We will fail to flourish.
I think it sounds good because, again, in the mix, okay, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Okay, so
He's so excited.
I know I want to show you. Okay, we can go there now. So this is the big man. I forget how.
I remember.
You remember how this came to be?
Yeah, because I said, yo, get the MIDI from with the rhythm for the ba ba da ba da da, and I was like, change, like, let's make it into a chord progression. Let's divide it up into different notes, so it's like a chord progression.
Yeah.
And then we experimented on that call, and you moved it places, and I was like, yeah, put it there. I was like, that's good. All right, maybe like 5 steps down, and then you kind of just took it, and then you figured it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it was funny. I
remember
think I remember doing it, and we heard it go into it. We were like, yes.
Yes, that was
That's
it.
the
we're
one.
like, yep, that's the one, dude. That's the one.
And it's what's cool too is it's like it doesn't stray too far, but it just honestly elevates what's going on. And I think I went lower. Like I think because I think I'm chilling on D sharp and I went to C sharp. I think so. Let me see. Let me see. Yep. And then I think I go up. Nope, I went even lower. Okay. I don't remember because it was just kind of such an intuitive thing. Like it was just intuition, whatever. But I'll let you hear this.
Devil smile from the inside. It pulls me back, creeping from the outside. And I feel your love. It's my favorite drug. And I feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
So one cool thing that you don't hear in this vocal, well, let me just solo it so you can hear it.
Devil smile from the inside. It pulls me back, creeping from the outside. And I feel your love. It's my favorite drug. And I feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
Bruh. Do you hear the stereo octave down? Like, Ruben, you heard that? You heard that in the mix? Ruben, that's crazy if you heard that, bro. Because I don't hear it, but I feel it. I don't know. I'm going to play it again. Hold on.
Devil smile from the inside. It pulls me back, creeping from the outside. And I feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
Yeah, this part is sick right here.
And I feel your love. It's my favorite drug. And I feel your love. It's my
Dude.
favorite drug.
There's so much going on here. Because, like, you have this, your main guy here, but then there's the more call and response stuff here. But then you have this one.
Devil smile from the inside.
Again, just a layer for this.
Devil smile from the inside. It pulls me back, creeping from the outside.
And you have this.
And I feel
This guy.
your love. It's my favorite drug.
There's so much. But then there's also this guy going on really just far in the back. So I'll just do this so you can hear all just the vocals.
Devil smile from the inside. your love, it's my favorite drug. And I feel your love, it's my favorite drug.
Woo!
And this comes back here. I love that. Oh, it's so good, man. There's
Dude,
just
so
the layers.
the layers. So if you listen to a lot of hip hop or R&B, there's a lot of ad libs. And that's what kind of connects all of their phrasing to the next part and just kind of keeps it moving. And that's what I try to incorporate into metal. I'm not too worried about like performing all these vocals live. Like the moment you start to do that, you start to gatekeep your creative process
Yeah.
in terms of like what could be heard and what could be expressed. So for me, it's like I just wanted to add as many layers as possible because naturally I'm like a drummer. Like I started out as a drummer, and like of course the drums have all these different aspects to like kind of bring a rhythmic picture. And I try to do the same thing with vocals. So like if you were to, if you do the vocals just by itself altogether, there is like an ebb and flow and a rhythm from start to finish. And that's just
Yeah.
kind of how I envision it when I'm going into the project.
Well, I don't know. I feel like you just can't get rid of them out of your life because again, if you listen to auras, which if you haven't, you need to go and listen to auras because it's what drew me into auras, and this was even before I knew that Josh was like one of the main contributors to like he starts the snowball, if you will, and as soon as I understood that and saw that, I was like, oh wow, this is again when I think, dude, Crestfallen, like that album is nuts.
Yeah.
It's such a nutty album. But you know what's funny is that's when I first got introduced to you guys because I saw you with the Contortionist at the Marquee,
right.
bro. That
At
was
the
before you
Marquee,
you
dude.
knew I existed. That was
Dude,
before I knew
dude.
you existed.
Right, dude. I still you tell them about what you said to me and what I said. Like when I was
Oh,
on,
okay.
like, on
Yeah.
stage.
So we were there, of course, to go see Contortionist, but we like to get there early to check out. Me and my buddy Josh, we go there to just watch the openers because like you never know. And so we get there, we're watching, and Nate starts just going. And I'm like, what is this? How come I've never heard of this? And they're still going, and I was just like blown away. Me and my friend Josh were just like, oh my dude, who are these guys? And what have they done to my life just now, And so, they get done with their set, and Josh gets done putting his stuff away, and he starts walking, and I go over there, and he's going to merch right away, and there was a lot of people, and you know what? This might have been actually at the end of the show or whatever, but it was basically everyone was going because they were trying to leave, and I saw Josh. I was walking this way, and he goes to go to merch, and I like grabbed his arm, and I was like, dude, I freaking love your band. I think I said something like that. And Josh, he looks over and he's like, oh, thanks. And I was like, I love this guy already, And so I literally, I think I left. I went outside for a second. And then I was like, man, I need to buy a shirt. I need to like support these guys somehow. And so I go back in there and I say what up to them. And I got a shirt. And then from then on, I don't even know, like, oh, I kept getting drum lessons from Nate whenever he came to town with intervals because Nate is also intervals drummer. If you're ever wondering, like, why are the drums so sick? Because it's Nate Bulla, the other guy. And I just kept getting lessons from him. And I remember, bro, I gave him like a whole bunch of stickers. And at first I asked Nate, like, what kind of stickers should I make you guys? And there was just all kinds of different ones. And I think at the time you guys were touring and you were having a Smash Brothers tournament, like, and he was like, dude, make a sticker for that. And I was like, okay, so I made that one. I made the Serban stickers, dude. Like,
The Serban stickers, dude. Yeah. Serban, like that word was like a working title for a song at one point.
oh,
And that's what, and then we just kept saying Serban. Like it was just like, we would say Serban, Serbach. Like we would just make words up. 'Cause
well,
that's just
wasn't
that's how I do it.
Jordan from Contortionist got in on it as well, right?
Oh yeah, dude. When we our language that we have as a band is you have to be there, but by the end of a tour with us, you're in, you're saying the weird stuff that we're saying.
Well, what's funny is I believe you because now that like I hang out with you, it happens to me. I'm a part of that whole thing. And so that's what's so funny. But yeah, so that started and then you guys came again. I think it was with Night Versus and I forget who else was there, but I remember at that point you knew who I was because you got the stickers, this and that. But then I got there early because I think I was probably going to get another thing from Nate, another drum lesson, a lesson from him. But then that's when we finally met, like officially.
No, I gave you a press pass.
It was you?
Yeah, you emailed me and I was like, yeah, I got you a press pass. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Dude. Yes. And so that's when we first officially met. Like he knew who I was, I knew who he was. And then I remember too that like you guys got done and Night Versus was playing like no, I ended up skipping the next band after you guys because I was hanging out with you guys and then Night Versus was going on, but I was talking with you. And at that point I didn't care if I missed Night Versus because I knew that there was something special with what was going on between our conversation and us chilling. And so that was the most that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? And so, but one thing, dude, that really like, and I'll never forget this. I remember because I was just picking your brain about so many different things that you were like, do you have like a podcast? Because if not, like, you should like do one because you're really good at asking these questions. And I was like, dude, I'm so curious. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I'm like, your voice is like so perfect for a podcast, dude. And you ask so many good questions. You let the person talk. You listen. I was like, this guy is like the next Joe Rogan. You know what I mean?
Well, what's funny is that's why I started the podcast a long time ago was because it was just like, I have someone that believes in me, dude. Corny says Chris Rogan.
Chris
Metal
Rogan.
Metal Rogan.
Metal Rogan.
Also, what's up, Julia? I saw you subbed. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the 2 months. You're the best. But, dude, and then after all that happened, I think we still talked, blah, blah, blah. But then COVID happened. And then you hit me up. You were like, dude, I need like, I think it was JST that hit you up and they had like, they wanted you to make a demo for them. And you're like, I don't know how to edit or anything. Can you like, and I was like, easy, got you.
Oh my God, dude. Do you have that video still?
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I have it somewhere, bro. What's
It was
funny is I
something
actually,
great. It's on Instagram and it's under like my videos, or it might be archive actually. Now that I think about it, unless you have it like the cut.
I have it somewhere, bro. I just don't even remember where I put it because it's in one of my folders. But what's funny is I remember that I did that when I lived in Vegas.
Oh,
And I didn't have a job because I couldn't find a job because it was just like the casinos were only open on weekends and like I was surviving off of like graphic design client work and it was just like it was nuts. But then Josh was like, dude, they hit me up. But again, I wanted to, for me, it's always like when I meet someone like Josh or someone like Dan or someone, who I look up to, who I would possibly love to like work with it's always how can I add value to them? And like, what can I do for them? It's never what can they do for me. It's always like, what can I do for them? Because I want to kind of like showcase my value. Like, I could do these things for you, you know? And it's not only that, but it's just like earning their trust. And I think it was after that, like, I think I did one more for you. I think I did two for you, right?
You did one was JST and one was GGD.
Yes. I
But it was
remember
so
that.
long ago, dude. It was so long ago. And
I
then
wish I
like
could
that was
find it.
all the music we did for a
Mhm.
little bit, and then we just kind of like I was streaming a lot, like I was grinding the streaming gaming community, and you and I had some streams with Fran and Viewies,
We
like
got to do that
the
again.
scary screams. Oh, we 100% we need to do it again. Um, and then we just didn't really have music to work on for a while. Like when we first
Mhm.
met, remember, like this was like 8 years ago.
Wow.
No, 10 years ago,
Wow.
at least.
Really?
Yeah, it was
No,
a
you're right.
long
You're
time
right.
ago.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I have the tour pass somewhere over here, but yeah,
I'm trying to
it
look
was
up that
like
video right now.
I
I'm
have
sure
it
I had it.
archived, I think. I don't know where it
I
is.
think I still have it here, dude.
There,
Somewhere.
I just remember the one that was like wild. The thing that I wrote was like super wild.
It was so well. It didn't I don't remember if it was you that mixed it or like Nathan did some mixing on it or something. Because
I
we were
think,
all just like stuck inside. There was nothing to do.
yeah, exactly. I think you mixed it actually, or like I sent you the mix and then you like
I
mastered it.
mastered it.
That's what it was.
Oh, I wish I could find it, bro. I wish I could find it. It's somewhere on my hard drive. Yeah, it's somewhere here, but I think I've shown the homies before. But yo, David, what's up, dude? My relationship was with COVID. Everybody uses Google, but nobody ever asks how Google feels.
How Google feels. This is true.
Well, I think I'm even trying to think. Like, I think there was a point in time where I started writing. No, I did the artwork for Aura's single,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was a crazy experience because again, Aura's is one of my favorite bands, and they're asking me to make single art for them. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm freaking. Uh, what do I do? You know, and I'm like nervous because it's like,
No, man, dude, we're gonna have a fun time doing it. I'm very excited. I mean, you and I just know how to work together. So, I mean, at least we have that. It's not like you're meeting a new client or something and
Yeah.
you have to kind of understand the thought process.
Well, when I did Somnia, I'm talking about. Like when I made Somnia, the artwork for Somnia, like I was so nervous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You seem nervous. You didn't
Well,
seem nervous, dude.
it was like a facade, bro, because I wanted you guys to trust me. But I think it was good to have that because it made me work that much harder on that because I really, to me, it was like, you know, and so I really wanted to just make sure that I did the best that I could, and it turned out really awesome. But I feel like I've learned so much more since then. So like this new stuff that's coming out, which I guess I could say I kind of already did. Ours is coming out with stuff, right? Like, and it's gonna be sick. It's already sick. Like, what am I saying? It's so good. I can't wait for people to hear it. I mean, can we kind of say a little bit about it? Like,
Um.
new
okay,
music next year.
New music. Just keep an eye out in January.
And I'm just gonna say that I heard it, and it's sick. It's so good. It's I can't even say anything. I wish I could. NDA. I'm on a Aura's NDA right now.
January, you know, just like I'm not saying what's gonna happen. Just like keep your eye out around there, and maybe you know. But dude, it looks like
That's
you
exciting.
have to do 20 push-ups, my guy.
I do have to do 20 push-ups, and it's almost community jams time. And I mean, I really just kind of, again, I wanted to show you guys in chat and you homies watching on the VOD, the YouTube VOD, like this isn't as crazy as you think it is, releasing a song. Like, it's not that hard. Like, it really just comes down to just finding some people that are good to collaborate with, you know? But if you don't even have that, just having yourself and trying to stick, because we had to put a deadline on this, man. I think there was a certain point in time where it was like, okay, I mean, I have so many iterations of this. I have so many iterations because I was in my own head about it. Like, oh, it's the first single that I'm coming out with, blah, blah, blah. But it was just like, I have to stop doing that. I remember when I told you on stream, I was like, dude, we need to have a deadline because it's my fault. Like, look at this. All of these. Oops. Like, look at this. It's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, but that's not even all of the sessions. Like, this is the vocal processing session. These are processed vocals that I did because I actually processed them before I put them into the session. Here's the actual vocal session. Here's just this. Like, yes. You could see that I still have my moments of overthinking. And I think it's all the perception of just like wanting to do the best that you can. But I am just I'm realizing that, and I knew this the whole time, but I have to remind myself that perfection is a myth, man. Perfection is a myth. You just got to get it out. Just got to do the thing. But I think when you have someone like Josh, who's just like, bro, it's good. Just put it out. I'm like, yeah, I know, dude, but like the snare, you know?
I know, dude. That last mix down session that we had,
Yeah.
where I was just like, dude, like it's good. Where do we want to go, right? And you're like, okay, let's just like use this track as reference. Like, perfect. Let's just sit there and just do that. And then we did it, and you're like, oh wow, yeah, it's done. Like, yeah, it's done. I was like, yeah, yeah.
It was nice having you there to kind of like reaffirm that, you know, like, yep, it's good enough. You know, what's funny too is like, I had plenty of time because there was still something, even in this mix, there's something that I heard that I wish I would have fixed, but it's out. And I can't be bothered anymore because it's just like, it was such a, like, you guys didn't hear that, whatever it is that I'm not going to tell you. But it's not anything crazy. It was to me, it was like, oh, it's still there. But Josh knows this. I'm always like, oh, there's something that I just got to tweak this one thing. How many times have you heard me say that, bro? Like,
Well, if you look at the 10 times, we have 10 versions of FTI, you know, so.
what about
was like-
in your memory? You remember memory? How many we have for memory? How many? I think there's 20.
12. No. Is it? No. Is it 20? Oh,
I think.
I don't know. Oh, it might be.
But I
It's not
still
even
need
over
to
yet.
dive in. Yep, I still need to dive in and fine tune. Hold on, let's see. Kenobi says, you write in MIDI. On the track, did you then record real drums, guitar, bass, and all? No. Kenobi, everything is still MIDI, bro. Everything is MIDI. And I'm okay with that. I actually had someone post on my Apex video, I think it was yesterday, like, MIDI is for losers. And I was just like, I think you're missing the idea behind why we do what we do. You know, like it's art. It's expressing it in the way that you know how. It doesn't matter how you get there. But as long as you have fun doing it, you enjoy it, and you can put it out to where other people can enjoy it, like, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, that's pretty much it. Like, if you think about all these EDM artists, do you think they're actually getting, you know, these piano players to play on the record all the time? No, they're using MIDI plugins to perform these things. And like, yes, of course you can go out and hire someone to go play it, but like, to the listeners, the majority of the listeners, they're not going to decipher the difference between that because they're consuming music completely different than you're making it.
Yes. And another thing too is like being able to afford something like that. Like, I can't afford to hire all these people to do it. Like, I might be able to do these things on drums, but it'll take me so much. Like the song wouldn't even be out because I'd still be trying to learn how to do it. And it's like, again, I honestly think at the same time too, it would take away from this vibe that we're trying to achieve. You know what I mean? Like this whole trance style. Because I tried not to get weird with the drums. I tried not to get weird with the guitars and just like, again, build the world. Build the world. This loud minority of the Chihuahua's smallest duck bark the loudest. Yeah. Yes. I like that. What does it say? Everyone was talking about the transients on the snare at Min 102 and how they couldn't listen to the song because of it. That's debatable. David, I'm not sure. Are you referring to this song at 102? Because that's actually the first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah, me too.
My only instruments are a cheap acoustic guitar and a triangle. So I dig MIDI. See, there you go too. Like, I haven't touched drums or guitar in a while because I am just having such a blast writing like this. And it's the ultimate freedom. I don't need to know how to play this to be able to like make this. I can learn it later if I really want to, but it's just like, are we ever going to play this live? I don't know. I don't think so unless it's demanded. But we had this conversation, Josh. Like, we're doing this because it's fun. And we want to
Exactly.
share it with others. Like, that's the biggest thing. But I think, again, we both agreed with this on this about we want to show not just the product, we want to show the process. We want you guys to see that it's possible and it's not that crazy. But it is, a lot of it is mental crap that you can see that I still deal with. You know? Like I can make songs all day. But when it comes to like there's something about putting it and setting it in Spotify that is such a like scary thing that I know I'll get better at, right? Like, but you know, it's a process. We talked about trying to get a song a month. But you know, next month is a little hectic, to say the least.
Yep. Yep. We're quite busy on
The boy Josh is gonna get married. Hearts in chat for Josh. He's getting married next month. Very good. Let's get him one of these here. Yes, please.
It's not even next month, dude. It's in like 2 weeks.
I know.
It's like in 2 weeks, man. Like, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a well-deserved vacation for Chris here. So, you know.
Hey, dude, I'm very grateful. You know, I'm gonna be taking the photos there. And you know what's funny, Josh, is I was scrolling Reddit and someone was showing their lens, and it had a humidity ring on it that it didn't like. It was just there, and so they couldn't take photos. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was scrolling the comments and it said, get silica. And so I got some silica. Silica is on its way. It's going in my bag. Like, whew. And so let's just hope that, because I'm coming from Colorado and going to that, like, I mean, it's cold there too. Like right now it's 48 Fahrenheit here, which is pretty cold. But bro, I looked at the weather and it was like 90% humidity.
Yep.
And so that's, whew. Yo, Silent, what's going on? Brandon, what did Brandon say? Writing MIDI makes me a better guitarist and a writer by thinking from a compositional standpoint rather than a guitarist's standpoint.
100%. Oh my
Brandon,
God. Couldn't have said that better.
Brandon he's awesome, man. Very, very awesome dude. David says no beanies for Josh. Not over there, dude. I told Josh that I bought the most pair of shorts that I own the most pair of shorts I've ever owned in my life because of this trip. I've only owned like one or two pairs. Now I have like 5.
That's amazing.
I know. Let's see what other questions or anything we have. You guys should watch the Tom Schatz story. He actually did play instruments for all first 6 tracks. Let's see what else. My only instrument is being the Beast of Iceland, says Simi. Simi is one of those ones that he wants the vocals for this because the stuff that he makes is just insane, bro. Insane. Oh, Garfield, that's a great question, bro. He says, where the F is the merch? I
We'll
know.
talk about it.
I
talk
know.
about it.
I know. This is something that I have been talking about actually to David about. Actually, for me, it's trying to find the company that I feel like can have really nice quality products. You know what I mean? And not just something that we can just sell, whatever. Like, I definitely want to have some logo stuff. I want to come out with stuff for, the channel as well. You guys have heard me talk about that. But yeah, there's a lot of ideas about merch because, again, this isn't the only song that we're coming out with. Like, this is the introduction to what we're doing. We have a few songs. Again, one that's almost right there. But I have a lot of other demos, which if you are here just for this mix walkthrough, I write a lot of what you are going to hear from Oni Noir live on stream. And again, that's what this whole thing is about. It's showing you like it's not anything crazy. It's writing music and putting it out. And so, but I know that we've been going for quite a bit, an hour and a half, and I'm that's how Josh and I are. We can talk. I can talk all day, but But let's do a from the top so people can hear it. And I have 20 push-ups to do. I gotta get the push-ups in, and so let's throw this on. Let me make sure I'm not soloed. Bam. Oh, let's start from here. Push-up cam, I know. It's next on the list.
Why do we face with no escape? Always complaining our fate. When we're asleep, feel nothing but weight. Mistakes, desire within our maze. A sweet escape kills me softly. I feel your love. This is my favorite drug. My favorite drug. I feel your love. This is my favorite drug. My favorite drug. Wanting us fade to black. Until we decide we never do. We will fail to throw it. Feel the corroding stains of a dream. Devil smile from the inside. It pulls me back, creeping from the outside. And I feel your love. It's my favorite drug. And I feel your love. It's my favorite drug.
YouTube homies, we are going to go over to Twitch because Community Jams is coming up. So if you want to join us, make sure you come and join us. Link's going to be in the description. But also, since this is going to be on the VOD, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments on YouTube, and I will try my best, and I'll let Josh know if it's a Josh question. And, we'll try to answer as much as we can, but make sure that you like and subscribe and all those things, because again, this is not the only song that we're going to be doing, and it's just going to be good times. And so YouTube homies, we'll see you soon. I'll be back on Tuesday